everyone, welcome to Hey Uterus, What's This? A podcast about fibroids. I am your host, Delight Haangala, and I'm going to be taking you on a journey to understand what fibroids are. I guess some of you have never heard about fibroids, and to be honest, that was me, a 20-year-old in university. I'd never heard about fibroids. The first time I got to hear about it was when my roommate's mom was going for an operation, and my roommate told me, my mom is going for an operation for fibroids. And I'm like, what are fibroids? Because, fibroids are not talked about as much as breast cancer, as much as the other diseases out there. So she told me, no, fibroids are just growths in the stomach. And, I left it at that. I didn't probe more. I was just like, okay, shame anyways. I wish your mom the best in her operation. And that's how I packed fibroids. I didn't know what it was, I didn't know, much information about it. But then a few years later, I was not feeling well, and at the time I was staying with my mom, and she told me, go have a full body checkup. So I went, I had a full body checkup, and at the clinic where I went, they found out that my blood was low. They call it HB. I was learning some of these terminologies for the first time, stuff like HB. So my HB was low. I can't remember the exact figure, but it was really low. And, they told me, no, go see a gynecologist. So I went to see a gynecologist, and they did a scan. For ladies that have been for a scan, you have to drink your water, have to have enough water in your system. So I had the scan done, and the doctor told me straight up, you have fibroids. They're really big, and you should get pregnant in the next year. And I'm like, excuse me, Miss Ma'am, what do you mean get pregnant in the next year? At this point, I'm single. I don't even have a boyfriend. I almost told her, give me a husband, because I need me a husband to get pregnant. I'm a Christian lady. I believe in no sex before marriage. So what are you saying? What do you mean? That was heavy for me. Of course, I went home. I broke the news to my family. At that point, still, I didn't really understand what this fibroids is. What are fibroids, you guys? I didn't understand at that point. Of course, I started researching more, and I got the medical point of view of what fibroids are exactly. And this podcast is gonna talk more about what fibroids are exactly. I'm not a medical personnel, but I just know, of course, there are growths in the stomach that can grow in your uterus and outside the uterus lining. And this is why I decided to start this podcast, so that we can raise awareness on this issue of fibroids, because I got to find out actually that a lot of women are suffering from fibroids. 1, 2, a lot of women don't know that they have fibroids. 3, the women who have fibroids are quiet about it. It's not being talked about. This issue is not being talked about. And I ask myself, and I wonder why. Is it because it affects fertility? Again, we'll talk about this in the other episodes to come. There's just a lot surrounding this issue of fibroids. And this is why I decided to start this podcast called Hey Uterus, What's This? This was just a little introduction from me for you guys to just get to know why I decided to start this podcast and the importance as well. And to all men listening, by any chance, if there's a man listening to this, I'm glad you're listening, because this podcast is for both male and female, because men also need to know about fibroids as well, because men have sisters, men have wives, nieces, that are experiencing this, that go through this. Bosses at work need to know about fibroids, because of course, when you have fibroids, there a lot of your menstruation is heavy, your flow is so heavy. So there's a lot that will be talked about this issue. But basically, that's how I found out that I had fibroids, okay? And since then, I've gone for an operation to India. That was by God's grace, by the way, guys. That was a miracle for me to go all the way to India. For those who've been for medical treatment to India, you just know that India is so expensive. People are selling houses out there just to go to India. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So I just thank God for the opportunity and the miracle that happened for me to go to India for my operation, and I am much better. So I just wanted to warm you guys up to this topic of fibroids. And in my next episode, I will have a medical personnel who will be able to answer questions about fibroids, because I have questions as well. We'll be able to tell you what side effects you should look forward to for somebody who has fibroids. So I'm excited about this journey. I'm excited to those who've joined this first episode. It's going to be an amazing journey, and I'm looking forward to to meeting you guys in the next episode.